What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bracketology episode. You guys have begged and begged and begged and begged ever since I released the last one for me to put out another one. And it's coming today. A lot of changes from the last one. A lot of teams going up, a lot of teams going down. That's for sure. But we're going to discuss all of the teams, all 68 of them, and then we'll make some picks. We do have Tyler with us here. You want to say hi? So he will be helping us with some team evaluation. I'm going to start with the last four in. Current last four in: Richmond, Colorado State, Wichita State, and Duke. Richmond sitting at 9-3. They have a win over Kentucky, but that Kentucky win doesn't look too great now since Kentucky sucks. And Colorado State, they're sitting at 10-2 from the Mountain West. They're getting some respect. I have them as a play-in. Wichita State sitting at 8-3 from the American. They're going to be on the edge. And Duke, 5-3 for the Blue Devils. I don't know about them. CBS didn't even have them in their bracketology. I'm still going to keep them in because they're Duke. And they play Pitt tonight. They might lose that game. Pitt doesn't look half bad. If Pitt wins, they will replace Duke on that line. Do you have anything on those four teams? All right. Next, we have this team hasn't moved from the number one overall seed since I made this bracketology. Gonzaga. They continue to roll. There are very few teams I feel like that are going to be able to stop this train. They sit at 14-0. They beat St. Mary's by 14 on the road, and that's one of the best teams in their conference. So they're absolutely rolling right now. You have anything on them?
No.
Okay. Now we have these two playing teams. UC Irvine currently atop the Big West, and Southern currently atop the SWAC. And yeah, these two teams are basically not good at all. They're fighting for their lives to get into the tournament. Louisville went out and got absolutely monkey drug by the Seminoles yesterday. Leonard Hamilton's crew came in and absolutely wiped the floor with them. They've lost two in a row. They lost at Miami. They are home against Duke on Saturday. They could use a win. You got anything about them?
No.
You just gonna say no about everything?
No.
All right. Next, we have UConn, who sits at 7-2. I would have had them a lot higher, but they lost to St. John's and blew a big lead in doing so. They blew about a 15-point lead in that game. Some cause for concern for the Huskies. They sit at a 9. St. Louis. They are.
UConn. One thing about UConn, their best player is out for the year with a torn ACL.
Ooh, have fun with that, UConn. Next, we have St. Louis, who they are sitting at a nice 7-1. They have been ate up with coronavirus. Their last 5 games have been postponed. Their next game, they are home against another team in the bracketology, St. Bonaventure, on Saturday. So the Billikens, they've kind of been moving up by virtue of not playing. But they're looking good. They have a win against NC State. Their only loss coming to Minnesota. They do have a great win against LSU. That's looking to be a good one. Next one, we have Stanford at a 12 seed. I don't really know about the Pac-12. Do you hold the Pac-12 in very high regard?
Not really.
Yeah, I gave Stanford the benefit of the doubt. I have them as a 5. They have a win over Alabama, but they have some head-scratching losses to teams like Indiana, Oregon, Utah, and they lost to Colorado. But they're on the edge, man. They are really on the edge. Wisconsin sits at a 4. I've been a little bit concerned with Wisconsin because they started out great, lost to Marquette, but they were rolling, lost to Maryland. All right, whatever. And then they went on and they got absolutely monkey drug by the Wolverines, lost 77-54. I think Michigan went on like a 40-6 run. 40-6 run. It was something crazy like that. Wisconsin not looking great. They are home against Northwestern, who has fallen off the face of the earth, for anyone wondering. Toledo, your current MAC leaders. They've been looking great. They've been looking like the best team in the MAC. Clemson, I don't know about them. They have been looking like a really great team sometimes, and then there are some times where you're just like, what are we doing? They're 9-2. They look good. They lost to Virginia Tech earlier in the season, but that's all right. And then they went and got absolutely monkey drug by the Cavaliers of Virginia. They were down, what was it, 30-5 at one point? It was bad. I mean, really, really bad. Your halftime score 33-17, and it was worse in the second half, getting outscored 52-33. I don't know about them. They're at Georgia Tech tomorrow. See if they can rebound. The Land Thief, Oklahoma. They are in the bracketology right now at 7-7. What'd you say? Yeah, they're the Land Thief. They got monkey drugged by Xavier earlier in the year. Lost to Texas Tech close. They lost to Baylor and Kansas in their last two games. They are home against Kansas State today. They're on the edge, but if they can, Dan, they have a stretch coming up where they play Kansas, Texas, Alabama, and Texas Tech in back-to-back games. So if they could win, if they can go 2-2 in those games, they should be good. But that could be a rough patch coming up for the Land Thief. All right, next we have Kansas. They are 10-4. They have been going through a little bit of a rough spot. They got monkey drug by the Longhorns. I'm going to start using a different word. I'm going to use a different word. They got 84-59 to the Longhorns. And then they've lost two in a row. Lost to Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. And they're not in the tournament because they have a tournament ban. It is hard for me to get up and watch Oklahoma State games because, it doesn't matter. They won't make the tournament. So that's a shame. Then they did lose at Baylor. They're at Oklahoma coming up. That could be a big game for both teams in terms of Big 12 standings. Arkansas, Little Rock, they're sitting at a 14 seed from the Fun Belt. LSU, Murray, how good do you think LSU is? Because I'm not really sure.
They're pretty good. They're on a little bit of a win streak here. They have like a lethal shooter.
Who's that again? Say that again. Who's a lethal shooter?
Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas. Yeah, they have won 4 in a row against Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and the Gamecocks.
They play Bama tonight.
They do play Alabama tonight. That will be a good game. That will be a good game because Alabama, they might be the highest riser in the bracketology. So I think they're actually, I think, top 10 in offensive efficiency. They're down in the hundreds for defensive efficiency. So we'll see if LSU can match up. Next, we have the Bonnies. St. Bonaventure sitting at 6-1 from the Atlantic 10. Their only loss coming to Rhode Island. They haven't really beaten anyone impressive, but, they have a pretty good record and a pretty good conference, and they kind of just slid right in with some teams absolutely imploding, like Florida and Florida. And so that's where I think St. Bonaventure, they slide in at a 10 spot. At our first 2 seed, we have Houston sitting at 11-1. They have some good wins. They beat Boise State earlier in the season. You might not be thinking that's a great win. Boise State's 12-1. That's the only game Boise State's lost. They beat Texas Tech earlier in the year, and they've kind of been rolling through the American wins over SMU, Wichita State, Tulane, UCF, all very respectable teams. And Houston, they're looking good. They're winning all these games by quite a bit. Usually wins in the teens, so they're looking pretty good. Your current Colonial leaders, Northeastern, not much on them. They're leading the Colonial, and they'll get an automatic bid. That's basically what we've got going there. Michigan. Murray, how do you feel about Michigan?
They're a good team until they play teams like Minnesota.
They went on and got absolutely skull dragged by the Gophers. But they had a spot where it was like, who they play? They played Minnesota earlier in the year on January 6th and beat them 82-57. And then when they had to go to Minnesota, different story. But they've been looking really, really impressive. They have kind of an easy patch coming up here. They got Maryland, Purdue, Indiana, and Northwestern. And then they end the season with some big boys in the conference. So we'll have to see what they can do there. Guess who's back again? UMBC, currently leading the America East. Man, if they beat Michigan like they did to Virginia, oh baby, you'd hear a lot from me. I'd be insufferable. Next we have Rutgers sitting at an 8. They've been falling. They 7-5 for the Scarlet Knights, including 4 in a row. Their last win coming on December 29th against Purdue. So not great stuff there. Lost to Iowa by 2 at home. That was a great game. But then you went out and got absolutely skull-dragged by Michigan State, 68-45. You lost by 11 to Ohio State, and then you lost by 6 at home against Wisconsin. So it's been tough. They're at Penn State on Thursday. That should be a win. Then you're at Indiana and then home against Michigan State. So we'll see what you can do in some of those upcoming games, maybe rebound. Here's a team I've been talking about for a little bit. Boise State, 12-1, undefeated in the Mountain West. Their only loss coming to Houston, their first game of the year. They've won 12 in a row. 12 in a row they've won. They have a great win against BYU. That's helping them out a lot. They beat New Mexico twice, San Jose State twice, Air Force twice, Wyoming twice. Next, they play Fresno State twice, and then Colorado State twice. So those Colorado State games, those will go a long way for both teams' resume because both teams are looking like they're probably going to make the tournament, but those games will prove a lot. What do you think of the Broncos?
I really don't know much about them until you brought them up. So.
Okay, next we've got Mizzou. I don't know about Mizzou. I'm not really sure about them. They're 8-2. They have a win. They have wins over Oregon and Illinois coming early in the year, but they're 2-2 in their last 4. Got absolutely skull dragged by Tennessee, 73-53, and then they lost by 15 to Mississippi State. So I had to drop them a little bit. They're at Tennessee coming up on Saturday. Tennessee plays the way they are now, down 23-14 to the Gators. That could be a win that could be a big win for them, but I'm not really sure about them. Seton Hall at 12. They're in the Stanford boat, kind of just barely hanging on by a thread. They haven't looked great. UCLA at a 4. I've been impressed with the Bruins. They got absolutely monkey drugs, 73-58 to San Diego State, their first game of the season. But other than a little blip against Ohio State on the road, they've been looking really good, beating Pac-12 teams like Colorado, Arizona State, Arizona, Washington State, and Washington all with ease. So you say they're on a bit of a roll. They're at Cal on Thursday, and then they're at Stanford Saturday. So that's what's going on with these guys. Siena, undefeated, 6-0. Haven't really seen much from them, but they're probably going to end up winning their conference. All right, next we have probably my biggest love-hate relationship with any team ever. Can you guess what team that is? Ew. Why you say ew?
Is it Florida State?
Yeah. I always pick them in March. I always do because they run 10 deep. They have depth. Everyone on that team feels like they all end up playing. And the depth they have could really help give some of their starters a rest, and they dominate you coming off the bench. I love what they do. Whenever I pick them, they don't do well. Whenever when I don't pick them, they do well. So Florida State, get it done. Absolutely monkey drug. Louisville the other day. Richmond, Colorado State, we already talked about them. Ohio State.
This team's good.
They look good. They look really good. They're sitting at 11-3. They're coming off 3 straight wins against Rutgers, Northwestern, and Illinois, 2 of which on the road. Yeah, they're looking good, man. They're looking good. So Ohio State, watch out for them. They've been looking like a really good team. Cleveland State, they're currently winning the Horizon League. Not much on them. They're Cleveland State. Illinois. Yeesh. I don't know, man. I don't know about Illinois. They're ranked not all the metrics. All these metrics love Illinois, but they've lost 2 in a row to a bad Maryland team, and they lost to Ohio State. I don't know, man. They're gonna have to get their stuff together. They are really gonna have to get their stuff together. They're gonna make the tournament. They're still ranked, but if you want to make a run, I know you can, but get it together, Illinois. If they can get it together coming down the stretch, this team can be dangerous. But right now, I'm having trouble seeing it. Next, we have Utah State coming out of the Mountain West. They look pretty good. They're 11-3. Only losses coming to VCU, South Dakota. They started the season 1-3. They've won 10 in a row. And all those losses were to pretty good teams. They've won 10 in a row, including 2 against San Diego State. That's really going to help them out. They currently have 2 games. I mentioned that they have 2 games against Colorado State coming up. So those are going to be some important games to watch out for. At 2, a team I like a lot. I love the way this team plays. They shoot a bunch of threes. Texas. They've been looking good. I would be more high on them if they didn't lose Matt McClung and Texas Tech. That game hurt. Buzzer beater by McClung. That was a great game. Came down to the wire. But they're still looking like a really good team. They were a 1 seed. Michigan was the team that ended up hopping them. I still like what Texas has been able to do. You high on Texas? Yeah. Okay. All right. Next, we have Southern Utah currently winning the Big Sky. That's basically it for the Thunderbirds. Baylor. I think this team is the best in the country.
I like this team.
I mean, man, if they had that Gonzaga game canceled, which in hindsight, it's kind of cool that game got canceled because now we get to wonder what team's better. Who knows? But
also that terrible suspension. We need to know who's better.
Yeah, but it leaves a great storyline to tell. They have wins over Illinois. They have that's basically their best win, but they have won 2 straight games against some really good teams. At Texas Tech, won 68-60, and then they won 77-69 against the Jayhawks yesterday. So they're looking like a really, really good team. They're the number 1 team in terms of defensive efficiency, and they're number 4 in offensive efficiency. So they're the only team that ranks in the top 5 for both. Only team that ranks in the top 5. Xavier. I don't know about some of these Big East teams. I don't really know. Like, I feel like for a team like Xavier, they're going to need to get out on the court and prove to some people. Because in the good win category, they're kind of lacking. They have Oklahoma by 22. That's a really good win. But other than that, they've lost Seton Hall and Creighton, and then they have their game against Villanova postponed and Seton Hall postponed. Their next game is is actually tomorrow against UConn at UConn. That's postponed now? Yeah. Okay, well then their next game will be Tuesday the 26th, a week from today, against Georgetown. So, Xavier, I don't know about you. Michigan State. Oh, geez. So, the net, here's an out, okay. Michigan State is ranked 81 in the net. Now, the net, early in the season, they start putting out the net rankings about halfway through the season-ish. The net is always whack. I think like a 1-1 Colgate team was in the top 10 or something like that. But now that more games have been starting to play, you kind of have a clear. Teams that are ahead of them include Liberty, Pacific, Abilene Christian, Missouri State, Davidson, UAB, Toledo, Georgia State, and Seton Hall. Like, I think Michigan State's better than all those teams. But, like, do you know? Because they have not been playing very well. They've lost 4 of their last 6. I just blew a big lead to Purdue. Next 3 games are postponed. It's going to be a long time until they play. Their next game is the 28th against Rutgers. They don't play for 9 days. And they're on the road for their next 2 games. It could be trouble for Michigan State. I still think they'll end up pulling it together. and making the tournament, but they have some tough games down the stretch. They're really going to have to perform in those games, but maybe the rest can help them. I don't know. We'll have to see. Colorado. I've been wanting to get on the Colorado train for a while. They're ranked 7th in the net. 7th in the net. I mean, they have a loss to Tennessee. They lost 56-47 to Tennessee. That is a low-scoring game. Lost to Arizona and UCLA, but they did beat Oregon, and they've been looking great in the Pac-12. I like what Colorado's got. Give me them as a 5 seed. You got anything on that? My whole thing is I don't know how highly you could put the Pac-12. Is the Pac-12 that great? I mean, I might put the Atlantic 10 over the Pac-12. I have USC in there. I think I have USC, UCLA, Oregon, Stanford, Colorado. I think I have five Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, the top 5.
But are any of those 5 really that great?
UCLA is undefeated in conference, so that helps. They all have good conference records except for Stanford. They're 4-3 in conference, but 8-5.
Yeah, Stanford's on the edge.
Honestly, if you're gonna put anybody in for Stanford, I put in Arizona with them because they're 10.
They have a tournament ban, I think.
That's right. I don't know if I put Stanford in there. But
Yeah, they're hanging out. If Florida wins, they'll go in over Stanford.
We'll be hanging by a thread.
Okay, next we have VCU. They are an interesting team out of the Atlantic 10. They're also hanging out. Between St. Louis, Richmond, and VCU and St. Bonaventure, of those 4, I feel like only 2 will end up getting in. Definitely St. Louis and probably Richmond, but VCU, they haven't looked terrible. I think they're actually first in the conference. St. Louis has yet to play a conference game, but they've definitely looked like the best team in that conference.
The best team in this conference is St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, but the thing is it's because St. Louis hasn't played a conference game yet.
Yeah, UMass is in second.
Because they've been ate up with coronavirus.
Richmond, Dayton fell because of the year, but they're still a good team.
They're Dayton.
3-4 in conference.
Brock Bagesha. I'm sorry, man. Dayton. Can't be losing can't be losing to Fordham. You just can't be losing to Fordham. All right, next we have Virginia. This team is back from the dead. They are back from the dead. They lost to San Francisco, and they got some wins, but it's you got killed by Gonzaga, and then you're just well, sorry, Virginia, your contending window is done. They have won 5 straight. Beat Notre Dame, Wake Forest, Boston College, Notre Dame again. Not very great teams, but then they went out and absolutely wiped the floor with Clemson. They look pretty good. All right, next we got Furman. They're leading the SoCon, I think. They're not that great. They're okay. They're okay.
They held close to Alabama.
Yeah. Creighton, what do you got for Creighton?
Again, let me look at Creighton. So right now they are second, 10-3 with 6-2, qualifying Villanova. I don't know. This team's pretty good. Looks to me pretty good. They have a couple good wins.
I had them as a 1 seed.
They did just lose to Butler.
A bad Butler team.
Yeah, in overtime.
Butler's not good this year.
They barely won against Providence. They won by 2 on a buzzer beater. They lost to Marquette.
There's some sides for concern. If they can pull it around and start winning some of those mediocre Big East games, they should be fine.
Start flipping coins on this team.
I think they'll make the tournament, but
yeah, but it's close. They have a couple bad losses in there.
All right. Next we have UNC. They are 8-5. They're
barely.
I hate to make this a graphic picture, but have you guys ever seen the kid that his tooth is hanging on and it's a foot long and his tooth is just dangling there? That's the thread that they're hanging on. Them and Duke. CBS had North Carolina and Duke out of the bracketology. I'm like, I can't do that. Next, a team that they're looking good. They're looking very good. Texas Tech. Texas Tech. Oh, hold on. So, of the people in our friend group, Vince, Purdue fan. Texas Tech beat Purdue in the tournament. Murray, Florida fan. Texas Tech beat Florida in the tournament. Quincy, Michigan State fan. Texas Tech beat Michigan State in the Final Four, so we all hate Texas Tech. Lost to Houston earlier in the year, lost to Oklahoma State in overtime, but they got that big win over Texas. That really helped them out a lot, and they're looking like a really good team. They play some great defense. Mac McClung's a stud. They did lose to Baylor, a close game against Baylor. And they've had some games postponed. Their next game is Monday against Iowa State. Or no, Monday at West Virginia. Ooh, that'll be a good game. Next, we got Jacksonville. They're leading the Atlantic Sun. Congratulations, Jacksonville.
Yeah, they play like a gym, like a high school gym.
Jacksonville does?
Yeah, it's a small arena.
Hold on. I'm going to look this up.
It's literally like a high school gym.
I'm looking this up, if you say I should. Swisher Gymnasium. Oh, what the heck? What the heck is this? How many people does that seat? Like 500?
1,360.
Our high school gym seats like 3 times as much.
I told you they play in a high school gym.
Jeez.
And they're making the tournament?
Get a better stadium, Jacksonville. Come on. If you want to be considered a tournament team, get yourself a real stadium. Come on, man. Hold on. So for the Atlantic Sun, isn't like highest seed hosts the tournament, right? Imagine if you have a conference championship in that building.
In a middle school gym.
I mean, come on, man. Now, I know coronavirus is like throws everything off. Imagine like a conference championship to go to the tournament in that building. They would pack like 3,000 people into that. Like, seriously. They play division. They play Division I basketball.
I think Charleston Southern holds like 800.
South Carolina Upstate is bad too. They got like a really bad one. All right, USC. I like what I see out of USC. I know Pac-12 team. I like what I see out of USC. They are a very, very intriguing team. They're ranked 17th in the net. And they lost to UConn earlier, lost to Colorado, but since that, 6 in a row. Arizona State, UC, Riverside in overtime. And then Washington State. They're at Oregon State today. Are they winning that game? Let's do a score update. They are losing 26-18. Don't really know about USC, so they're a 7. Next, we have Murray's favorite team. Murray's favorite team.
Why are they this good?
At 13-0, the Winthrop Hawks.
They were never this good.
13-0. They are absolutely running through the garbage can conference of the Big South. Murray likes Gardner Webb. That's why. They're at Presbyterian for 2 games. Let's see. They're up 33-28 on the Blue Hose.
Come on, Presbyterian.
They're going to lose. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to have them this high because, well, who would they play? How many undefeated teams can you name? Gonzaga, Baylor, Siena, Winthrop, American, Loyola, and like Alabama A&M. Drake. Shout out Drake. So
like 4 people from our region on the team.
Yeah, anyway, so shout out Winthrop. Tennessee losing by 5 to Florida right now.
No, you're down by 7.
Oh, nope. You're behind. Anyway, but they look good. They have some good wins on their schedule. They beat Colorado. Their only game they lost to was to Alabama. That game is not.
Alabama's ranked. I wouldn't be bad about that.
Yeah, but like they weren't at the time. It was kind of like, oh, what's going on? We'll get to Alabama here in a minute. But they do have some good wins. Absolutely stomped Missouri by 20, beat Vanderbilt by 20. They're looking really good. They're number 2, I think, in defensive efficiency, I believe. Maybe we could take a look at that. The number 1 team in defensive efficiency is Baylor at an 87.1. Tennessee has an 87.2. And the next is Texas Tech with an 88.5. So they're up there in terms of best defensive teams. In offense, they're 31, but they can get it done with their defense. Tennessee at a 2 seed. Colgate currently leading the Patriot League. Whee! Congrats, toothpaste. Villanova. We got Villanova. They're 8-1. They have been hit hard with COVID. Jeez. They've had 6 straight games postponed. But before those postponements, they were playing really well. I'm contemplating putting Texas over Villanova. The problem is they beat Texas on the road by 4. So I kind of got to keep them up there. But Villanova, you know the story of Villanova. Bryant, they're leading their conference. Congrats, Bryant. Drake. They're ranked 11th in the net. That's very good. They have some good wins on their schedule. And they're looking good, man. Drake. Shout out Drake. They undefeated in the Missouri Valley. They keep winning, man. I think, when was the last time a team went into the tournament undefeated? Wichita State? Kentucky or Wichita State? And then they ended up losing. You could have like 4 teams enter the tournament undefeated. Gonzaga, Baylor. I feel like one of Gonzaga, Baylor is going to lose eventually. But Drake could make it undefeated. Winthrop can make it undefeated. There could be some potential. Purdue. I don't really know. They're 10-5. They have some good wins. They definitely have. So they beat Ohio State. That's looking like a very good win. But some head scratching. They beat Michigan State, but they have some losses on their schedule. They're a pretty good Big Ten team. They're going to be about a 9. West Virginia. Ooh, what do we got for the Mountaineers? 9-4. They've lost 3 of their last 5 to Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. They did beat Northeastern. Tournament team, by the way. Northeastern. But yeah, and that game they played against Oklahoma, they had to come back from down about 18. The Mountaineers are going through a rough spot right now, so they're not looking like the best team right now. Belmont, they haven't moved pretty much at all. Alabama, they're good. They're damn good. Hold on, I'm trying to find them. Where are they?
They rolled us.
Yeah, they absolutely whooped the Gators. But as for Alabama's body of work, they struggled to start off, lost to Clemson and Stanford. But since then, they have been absolutely rolling. 7 in a row for the Crimson Tide, including beating Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, and Kentucky. All very good teams. They're rolling. They have one of the best resumes in the country. Alabama at a 4 seed. Western Kentucky haven't moved since basically the tournament started. Minnesota, I don't know about them. They're very off and on. I feel like you never know what you're going to get with Minnesota. Like, they're the team that lost to Illinois by 30, beat St. Louis, beat Iowa in overtime, beat Michigan State, got drugged by Wisconsin, drugged by Michigan, drugged by that very same Iowa team, and then crushed that very same Michigan team. What team are you going to get with them? Like, come on. Like, they're pretty inconsistent. When they're on, and they look like one of the best teams in the country, honestly. But when they're off, it's ugly. Virginia Tech. I love what Virginia Tech has going for them. They are looking very, very, very good. I'm trying to find them. They're only ranked 36th in the net, but they lost by 20 to Penn State earlier in the year. But since then, they've beaten Clemson, lost to Louisville by 2, but they beat Duke the other day. They're looking good. They keep winning, man. They just keep winning. You got anything on the Hokie? All right, next, Murray, can you tell everyone at home what team that is and what it is called?
That's Grand Canyon, and they're the Antelopes.
Yeah, I was looking, and so they're leading the WAC. That's basically it. Oh, Oregon, another one of those Pac-12 teams. What'd you say?
Oregon sucks.
Really?
They suck at everything.
Lost
Look at the
to
Oregon fans.
Mizzou. They have some wins against Seton Hall. Beat Stanford. Lost to Colorado. They basically don't have that many great wins, but the lack of losses is helping them out a lot. 7 is where they ended up falling out. BYU.
Good team.
11-3. Their only losses, here's the thing, in their losses, they got drugged. Absolutely drugged. Lost to Gonzaga by about 25, lost to USC by 26. Lost to USC and lost to Boise State by 4. But they beat San Diego State. The win column is plentiful. Beat St. Mary's, that's a good win for them. They can keep winning against some of these middle of the road. They could basically win their next 10 games. They end the season at Gonzaga though, but if they can keep winning and winning and winning, they'll find themselves in the tournament. They just got to make sure they don't fall to one of those not so great West Coast Conference teams. Iowa, they're good. People think they're the third best team in the country. They're third in the net. There are 2 losses coming to the aforementioned Gonzaga and Minnesota. But they have been looking great as of late. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. 2 against Northwestern, Rutgers, Maryland, Minnesota are all games that the Hawkeyes have won. Luka Garza playing like an absolute maniac. Oh, he's not NBA material. Guess what? This isn't the NBA. Is this the NBA, Murray? No, it's not. And South Dakota State, they're currently leading the Summit League.
Missouri, jeez.
What's going on with Missouri?
They're dunking all over South Carolina.
Well, South Carolina's not that great. Shall we make some picks?
Yep, let's do it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Let's do it.
Who do you have between Gonzaga and the winner of Southern and UC Irvine? Oh, sure. I'm taking Colorado State over Richmond. And I'm taking Duke over Wichita State.
Oh.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking Colorado State. And this game is going to kill me if I have to watch it, but I got to go with Wichita State.
If you guys don't know Murray, he wants to go to Wichita State for college.
So badly, dude.
All right, I'm taking Abilene Christian and UC Irvine.
Yeah, I'll give it the same.
The HBCUs, they're not very good. Like, if you look at their records, a lot of them, they don't have a team over 500.
Before we move on, I want this. Were they the Jaguars?
I think so, yeah.
Southern Jaguars. Okay, I was gonna say that. All right, moving on. I thought they lost.
Hold on. Just to prove my point about how, okay, the best team in the SWAC is Southern at 3-4. Prairie View A&M is also 3-4. Alabama A&M's 3-0, but they really haven't played anyone. They have Mississippi Valley State is 0-12. Arkansas Pine. They have some terrible teams. There's only one team above 500, and it's because they've played 3 games. And then if you look at the other conference, the MEAC, I believe. Yeah, the MEAC. Their best team is North Carolina A&T at 6-9. 2 teams haven't played a game. South Carolina State is 0-13, and Delaware State's 0-9.
You know, some of these conferences don't even deserve to be Division I anymore.
Yeah, just so they can beat Kansas. Jeez, that might be the biggest embarrassment of the basketball season is Kansas State. All right, Gonzaga or the plan? Take Gonzaga. Louisville or UConn?
If they had James Bouknight, I'd take UConn, but I'm going with Louisville.
I'm also taking Louisville. St. Louis or Stanford?
I'm probably thinking the same thing you are, St. Louis.
I'm taking St. Louis. Wisconsin, Toledo.
Wisconsin.
I'm going with Toledo. They've been looking really good in the MAC. Wisconsin, they've not been looking great as of late. Toledo looks good. They look very good. Clemson, Oklahoma. I'm taking Clemson. My phone died. You're joking. My phone died. Oh no! Hold on. Of course, my phone died, man. Come on. All right, so I'm gonna try to fix this like as fast as possible, pretty much. I'm gonna go over a lot of the other games beforehand. Oh my goodness, this. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go through a lot of these other games while we wait for Murray to come back after my phone charges. I'm taking Kansas over Arkansas Little Rock. That should be self-explanatory. I'm gonna take LSU over the Bonnies. Houston Northeastern. Give me Houston. That was quick. Holy cow. Okay. Hopefully he picks up. But till then, I'll take Michigan over UMBC. I mean, oh my goodness, I would want UMBC to win that so badly, I'd want UMBC. But I'll take Michigan. Rutgers, Boise State. I'm taking the team that's won 12 games in a row. Taking Boise State. They look dominant, man. All right, so my phone died.
That's what I thought.
Phone died.
I got some picks to make there, buddy. What the heck?
Okay, I had to keep the video rolling. People are gonna click off. All right, so you were at Kansas.
Yeah, I think Kansas.
LSU, St. Bonaventure.
St. Bonaventure.
Murray likes
that would be one of my chalks.
Murray likes the Bonnies. Then we got Houston and Northeastern.
Leave the next three. The other Rutgers.
Okay, Houston, and you take a Boise too.
Yeah, Rutgers is not playing good at all.
They have definitely disappointed. Missouri and Seton Hall. Take Missouri.
Missouri, yeah.
UCLA, Siena. Take UCLA.
USC's got to have time to Oregon State. So.
I talked about that earlier. Ooh, Syracuse monkey drugging Miami. Like to see that. Too bad they're 1-3 in conference. Florida State in the play-in. Listen, this is the last. If Florida State continues this trend, I will pick them in the tournament. I will have them making a run. This is the last time. Last time with you, Florida State. I'm tired of playing with you.
I cringe every time I pick Florida State and everything, so I'm just going to Virgil quick and pick Florida State.
I'm taking Ohio State over Cleveland State. That's the easy one. Illinois, Utah State. This is an interesting one. Utah State's up there in terms of offensive efficiency rankings, but I'm taking Illinois. Texas and Southern Utah. I'm taking Texas. Baylor, the play-in. Take Baylor. Xavier, Michigan State. Who are you taking?
Xavier.
Of course you are. I'm taking Michigan State. I still think they're a good team. I think they're better than Xavier. Xavier has not looked great for me. Colorado and VCU. I'm going with Colorado. Yeah. Virginia and Furman. Virginia, they're hot right now. I'm taking them. What's his name? I don't know. Anyway, Creighton and UNC. Two teams that haven't looked great as of late. I'll take UNC. Creighton. You're taking Creighton? Okay. Texas Tech and the 1,000 seat gym. I'll take Texas Tech. USC Winthrop. Snooze. Give me Winthrop. 13 wins in a row? I mean, why pick against him?
USC.
Of course. Tennessee and Colgate. Now, Tennessee almost lost to Colgate when they played in the tournament. They almost lost to Colgate a few years ago for anyone that remembers, but they should beat them. They should beat them again. Villanova and Bryant. Villanova. Drake and Purdue. The team from the region versus the team with players from the region.
I want to see you first.
Taking Drake.
You know what? Boiler up, hammer down. Purdue.
Okay. West Virginia, Belmont. I'm taking Belmont.
Oh,
West Virginia looks bad. They look bad. 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 They look bad. Nice. All right, we're taking Bell.
This one's interesting because Western beat Alabama.
This is a different Alabama team. They look a lot better. All right. Minnesota or the play-in? I'm taking the play-in. Minnesota's too inconsistent. They're way too inconsistent. Yeah, I'll take that. Either one could beat them, though, to be honest with you. All right, Virginia Tech and the Antelopes. I'll take Tech. Oregon. This was the tough one for me. This one was really tough for you. I took Oregon.
BYU.
You're taking BYU, and then Iowa. I think we both have Iowa there.
Ow.
Okay, let's move in a little bit.
Watching this Duke and Pittsburgh game tonight?
I will watch that game probably. Louisville and Gonzaga. Taking Gonzaga. Toledo and St. Louis. You have Toledo, Wisconsin. I have Wisconsin. I'm taking St. Louis. You have Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'm taking Wisconsin.
All right. Clemson and Kansas. Very interesting matchup indeed. Clemson's like Minnesota. You don't know which team's going to show up. I'll take Bill Self and Rock Chalk Jayhawk. LSU, St. Bonaventure. I don't think it matters. I'm taking Houston. They're looking very good. Michigan and I thought about this one for a long time. But I'm taking Michigan. UC. This one, I'm taking Mizzou. I just can't get behind the Pac-12. I just can't. Okay. I swear to God, Florida State. Florida State, you better not disappoint in March. You disappoint in March. If you disappoint in March, I'm done with you. Here's the thing, though. Okay, here's my thing with Florida State. They run their entire bench on the court. They in a tournament where you're playing on maybe not back-to-back days, you get 1 day rest, then you're back at it. Your stars are going to be tired. That's what hurts a lot of these teams that have like one player that's like good. That guy's just like dead. Their players are gonna be fresh and rested. But the problem is like when both teams are rested, Florida, I don't know, but I gotta do it, man. And then Illinois and Texas. I'm taking Texas by 90. You really don't like Illinois. You really don't like Illinois.
No, I don't.
Okay, Baylor and Michigan State. Baylor by a lot. Baylor big.
This should be a good game.
It would be a good game, but Baylor's a way better team.
No, I'm talking the next one.
Oh. I think Colorado's looked like the best Pac-12 team. And they're on a roll right now. I like what I've seen out of Colorado. You got the Who's? Who's that? North Carolina, you went Virginia. All right, Texas Tech and UNC. I'm taking Texas Tech. Oh, this is one of Murray's favorite. This is a go off for Murray. Winthrop and Tennessee. Take Tennessee. You have USC in Tennessee. Okay. Villanova and Drake. I thought about this one, but I'm taking. Take Villanova. I thought you said you had Purdue beating Villanova. All right, Belmont and Alabama. This would be a really good game. I feel like this would be a really good game. I am taking Alabama, though. They are one of the hottest teams in the country. Duke and Virginia Tech. I have Virginia Tech.
Ooh, I want to pick Wichita State so bad. Oh. God, give me the Hokies.
Okay. And next one, we have Oregon. And I really thought about this one for a while, but I just can't get behind the Pac-12. Colorado's the only Pac-12 team I'm getting behind. And they might not even be the best team in the Pac-12. So my Sweet 16, Gonzaga, St. Louis, Kansas, Houston, Michigan, Missouri, Florida State, Texas, Iowa, Virginia Tech, Bama, Villanova, Tennessee, Texas Tech, Colorado, and Baylor. Let's move on, shall we? My thing doesn't get much closer. Gonzaga and St. Louis. Give me the nope. You thought I was gonna go with the silly upset, but Gonzaga. This is an interesting one. Kansas and Houston. I'm going with the Cougars. I like what I see in Houston. Kansas has been not fantastic this year, but they're still a really good team.
You ready for this?
What?
Give me Kansas.
Okay, that was a tough one. Missouri or Michigan? You're taking Missouri? Missouri, I don't know. They look bad on a few games. Like, they got killed by who? Texas A&M? Michigan, they show up in the... I'm taking Michigan. I got you. Florida State and Texas. This is the end of the line for Florida State. I'm taking Texas. All right, next we go to the other side. I gotta move my thing over.
Hey, look, it's Tennessee's owner.
Who's Tennessee's owner? Baylor?
Omar Payne. Dunking all over you.
Okay, I'm taking Baylor. Ooh, this is a close one. This is a really close one.
Ew.
I'm taking Texas Tech. I think they impressed me more on the offensive side of the ball. Tennessee, they've had some struggles on the offensive side, but their defense has been so good. Texas A&M has an on-par defense. I think their offenses look a little bit better.
Tennessee's defense is going to hold them down. Give me Tennessee.
Okay. Villanova and Alabama. Yeah, I actually took Alabama over Villanova when they had Colin Sexton. I'm not making that mistake again. And this is a really good one. Really, really, I want you to go first on this one. Give me the Hokies. Take Virginia Tech.
That'd be a really close game.
All right, now to go to the Final Four, we have Gonzaga and Houston. Yeah, I like Houston a lot. I don't think they're beating Gonzaga. They are the first Final Four representative. Congratulations. Then we have Michigan and that's Texas down there. Stetson's not making the Elite Eight.
I have Texas and Missouri. I want Texas.
And I'm also going with Texas. I like how they shoot the three a lot. Teams that shoot the three and shoot it well, like Texas can, they can go far in the tournament. I really like what they bring to the table. Next, we have Baylor and Texas Tech. These two teams played about a week ago. Give me the same result. Take a Baylor.
I have Tennessee.
You think Tennessee's going to win?
It's Tennessee's defense versus Baylor's offense.
No, Baylor's number one in defense.
Yeah, but Tennessee has a really good defense too.
Baylor has a better defense and a top 5 offense.
Give me Baylor.
Baylor is insane. Next, we have Virginia Tech and I'm doing a video. Next, we have. All right. Okay. Next, we got Virginia Tech and Villanova. You have Iowa here.
And I'm going with Iowa.
You think Iowa beats Villanova?
I think they can.
Virginia Tech and Villanova played earlier in the season, and Virginia Tech won in overtime. Same team, same result. Give me the Hokies. So my Final Four is Gonzaga, Baylor, Virginia Tech, and Texas. You have Gonzaga, Texas, Baylor, and Iowa?
Yeah.
Okay, Gonzaga and Texas, we have the same matchup. Oh, geez. You see, here's the thing. I love Texas's offense. Their defense isn't that great. I mean, they have a pretty good defense, but you're going to need a defensively oriented team to beat Gonzaga because they're just going to score 100 points on you. And I just don't think their defense is going to be stacking up. Give me Gonzaga.
Yeah.
And then Baylor and Virginia Tech. I think I may have Virginia Tech going too far. A team that's in top 5 on offense and defense. Easy pick for me. Give me Baylor. And you have Iowa. Do you have Iowa or Baylor?
As much as I want to pick Iowa, I can't do it. Give me Baylor.
All right, now.
We stay on 3.
All right. Hold on. All right. 1, 2, 3. Baylor. Oh, baby. Let's go. All right. I really think Baylor is the best team in the country. And that's not saying that Gonzaga is bad. Gonzaga they're a phenomenal team. The reason I like Baylor more is you need a team in the NCAA tournament that plays offense and defense. You can't have a one-dimensional team. Now, Gonzaga is by no means a solely off. They have a pretty good. They're ranked 13th in defensive efficiency. That's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. The elite level that Baylor plays on offense and defense is unmatched by anyone in the country. Like Gonzaga, they go out and they outscore teams every day. They beat you 190, 180. Baylor, they can shut you down defensively. Like the way they played defense against Kansas was just Kansas didn't know what to do. I mean, they really didn't know what to do. And they've held some teams to some pretty low scoring margins. Jared Butler, Mason T, they can actually absolutely take over games. But this would be a phenomenal national championship. These two teams have really separated themselves from the pack. So my final four is these three and the Hokie. So hope you guys enjoyed this bracketology. How long is this video? Jeez, no one's even watching anymore. 56 minutes. That might be way too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time.